In a world saturated with fleeting trends and ephemeral distractions, where the relentless pursuit of external validation often leaves us feeling unfulfilled and adrift, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism emerges as a beacon of timeless wisdom, offering a profound and practical framework for navigating the complexities of modern life with equanimity and resilience. Far from advocating for emotional detachment or apathy, Stoicism, as exemplified by luminaries such as Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, provides a pathway towards cultivating inner peace, fostering self-awareness, and embracing a life of purpose and virtue. This exploration delves into 10 core Stoic principles, reimagining them within the context of the 21st century, offering insights and actionable strategies for mastering the art of not giving undue weight to the things that lie beyond our control, while focusing our energy and attention on the cultivation of inner strength, moral character, and a deep appreciation for the present moment. It's not just about enduring hardship, it's about thriving amidst it, finding meaning in adversity, and ultimately, living a life that is both fulfilling and aligned with our highest values. It is about understanding the art of keeping calm and carrying on, a phrase that encapsulates the very essence of the Stoic mindset. This ancient wisdom, though formulated centuries ago, provides the perfect antidote to the chaos of modern living, helping us cultivate inner peace and resilience. The first cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is the principle of controlling what's within and releasing what's without, a concept that resonates deeply in an era defined by constant connectivity and the relentless bombardment of external stimuli. Seneca, the renowned Roman Stoic, astutely observed that we suffer more in imagination than in reality, highlighting the profound impact of our thoughts and perceptions on our overall well-being. In essence, this principle underscores the importance of distinguishing between what we can influence and what lies beyond our sphere of control. External events, such as the weather, the actions of others, or the vagaries of fate, are often impervious to our direct intervention. However, our reactions to these events, our interpretations, and our judgments are entirely within our power to shape. The Stoics advocate for a conscious effort to redirect our focus from external circumstances to internal states, cultivating a sense of emotional detachment from outcomes and embracing a mindset of acceptance and adaptability. Imagine spilling a cup of tea. The non-Stoic might fume and blame external factors, while the Stoic acknowledges the event, accepts it, and simply brews another cup, recognizing their control lies in their reaction, not the spill itself. This control over reactions is paramount, providing a foundation for resilience against the inevitable curveballs life throws our way. When faced with technological glitches or minor inconveniences, the Stoic takes a deep breath, recognizing that their interpretation of the event, not the event itself, is the source of disturbance. The modern equivalent of this is the ability to remain calm when your Wi-Fi acts up, resisting the urge to get frustrated and instead focusing on finding a solution. This principle serves as a powerful reminder that true freedom lies not in controlling the world around us, but in mastering our inner world. It is about focusing on what you can change and accepting what you can't, a practice that leads to a more peaceful and fulfilling existence. To reiterate, control what's within, release what's without, this is the first step towards Stoic mastery. This involves constantly reminding yourself that the only things you truly control are your thoughts and actions. External events, the opinions of others, and even your own past are beyond your grasp. By focusing on your internal state, you become less susceptible to the whims of fortune and more resilient in the face of adversity. Embracing this principle requires constant vigilance and self-awareness. You must be willing to challenge your own assumptions and biases and to recognize when you are allowing external factors to dictate your emotional state. With practice, you can cultivate a sense of inner peace and stability that is unshaken by the storms of life. This principle, though simple in its essence, is transformative in its application. By focusing on what you can control, you empower yourself to live a more intentional and fulfilling life. The essence of this Stoic tenet is liberation from the tyranny of external forces and the embrace of inner autonomy. Control what's within, release what's without, a mantra for navigating the complexities of modern existence with grace and resilience, empowering us to shape our inner landscape and find tranquility amidst the storms of life. Control what's within, release what's without, again and again, reinforcing the vital importance of internal regulation in the face of uncontrollable external variables. Recognizing this core tenet is pivotal to the Stoic path. The second principle, embracing the present moment, offers a potent antidote to the pervasive anxiety and distraction that characterize modern life. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, eloquently stated, "Do not let the future disturb you, for you will arrive there, if you nurture your present." In an age of incessant notifications, relentless multitasking, and a constant preoccupation with future outcomes, the ability to fully inhabit the present moment has become an increasingly rare and precious skill. The Stoics advocate for a deliberate and conscious effort to cultivate mindfulness, to savor the simple pleasures of everyday life, and to engage fully with the task at hand, without being distracted by past regrets or future anxieties. Consider the experience of walking in a park. The non-Stoic mind might be consumed by to-do lists and future obligations, while the Stoic mind is fully present, appreciating the sights, sounds, and sensations of the natural world. This mindful presence allows us to appreciate the richness and beauty of life as it unfolds, fostering a sense of gratitude and contentment. In essence, it's about recognizing that the present moment is the only reality we truly have, and that by fully embracing it, we can cultivate a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. It means truly listening to a friend instead of formulating a response, or savoring the taste of a meal instead of rushing through it. Let go of yesterday's worries and tomorrow's anxieties. The present is a gift, cherish it. This principle is not simply about paying attention, it's about cultivating a deep sense of appreciation for the here and now. It requires a conscious effort to disconnect from the digital world and to reconnect with our senses, to fully experience the world around us without judgment or expectation. Embracing the present moment is an active practice, not a passive state. It involves actively choosing to focus on the present and to let go of distractions. It also involves accepting the present moment as it is, without trying to change or control it. This acceptance is key to cultivating inner peace and contentment. Each moment is fleeting. By embracing the present, we maximize our experiences and enrich our lives. Embracing the present moment is not a rejection of planning or goal setting, it is simply a recognition that the future is uncertain and that the only way to truly influence it is to focus on the present. By making the most of each moment, we lay the foundation for a brighter future. Embrace the present, again and again, reiterating the importance of mindfulness and conscious engagement with the world around us. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we escape the anxieties of the future and the regrets of the past, finding solace and strength in the immediacy of our experience. This tenet is paramount to a Stoic lifestyle. Embrace the now. The third pillar of Stoic philosophy is the principle of accepting change as nature's course, a concept that acknowledges the inherent impermanence of all things. Epictetus, the influential Stoic teacher, wisely observed that, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters," highlighting the importance of adapting to the inevitable changes and challenges that life throws our way. The Stoics recognize that life is a dynamic and ever-flowing process, much like a river, constantly changing and evolving. Resisting change is futile and ultimately leads to suffering. Instead, they advocate for embracing change as a natural and necessary part of life, viewing it as an opportunity for growth and transformation. Consider the changing seasons. Winter gives way to spring, and spring to summer, each season bringing its own unique beauty and challenges. Similarly, life presents us with a series of transitions and transformations, some welcome and some unwelcome. The Stoic mindset encourages us to accept these changes with equanimity, recognizing that they are an inevitable part of the human experience. Facing a job switch or a breakup, the Stoic sees an opportunity for growth, acknowledging that life's nature is evolution. Just as Rome wasn't built in a day, neither are we. Every change adds a unique stroke to our canvas. The key is to adapt and learn from these experiences, emerging stronger and more resilient than before. This principle requires a shift in perspective, from viewing change as a threat to viewing it as an opportunity. It also requires a willingness to let go of our attachments to the past and to embrace the unknown. Accepting change as nature's course is not about passively resigning ourselves to fate, it's about actively adapting to the challenges and opportunities that life presents. It's about recognizing that change is inevitable and that our ability to adapt is what determines our success and happiness. Life is a constant evolution, accept it and thrive. Accepting change as nature's course requires a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. It requires recognizing that we are all part of a larger system and that our individual experiences are shaped by the forces of nature. By embracing this interconnectedness, we can cultivate a greater sense of acceptance and resilience in the face of change. Accept the flow of life, again and again, emphasizing the importance of adaptability and resilience in navigating the ever-changing landscape of existence. By surrendering to the natural ebb and flow of life, we find freedom from resistance and cultivate a sense of inner peace amidst the constant flux. Nature's course is to change. The fourth tenet of Stoicism revolves around detaching from external validation, an especially crucial lesson in our hyperconnected digital world. Epictetus's insight, man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems, underscores the human tendency to overestimate external threats and to become overly concerned with the opinions of others. The Stoics understood that true happiness and fulfillment stem from within, from cultivating a strong sense of self-worth and living in accordance with our values. They cautioned against seeking validation from external sources, such as social media likes, material possessions, or the approval of others, as these are fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying. Instead, they advocated for cultivating inner resilience and self-reliance, finding satisfaction in our own actions and striving to live a virtuous life, regardless of external recognition. In a world where social media dictates mood, Stoicism urges us to find validation from within. Self-worth shouldn't be measured by online clout, but by personal values. A post not getting expected traction. Remember, your worth is not up for public voting. This principle requires a conscious effort to challenge our ingrained desire for external approval. It requires recognizing that our worth is not determined by the opinions of others and that true happiness comes from within. It also requires a willingness to stand up for our values, even when it is unpopular or uncomfortable. Detaching from external validation is not about becoming indifferent to the opinions of others, it's about prioritizing our own values and living in accordance with our own conscience. It's about recognizing that true happiness comes from within and that external validation is fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying. True worth comes from within. Cultivating inner strength and self-respect requires a constant process of self-reflection and self-improvement. It requires identifying our weaknesses and working to overcome them, while also celebrating our strengths and accomplishments. It also requires surrounding ourselves with supportive and positive influences that encourage our growth and development. Detach from the need for approval, again and again, reinforcing the importance of internal self-worth and the freedom that comes from not being beholden to the opinions of others. By anchoring our sense of value within ourselves, we become impervious to the fluctuating tides of external judgment and find lasting contentment in our own integrity. Your own judge and jury is you. The fifth principle encourages us to recognize life's natural cycles, particularly the inevitability of loss. As Marcus Aurelius stated, loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. This principle highlights the importance of accepting the impermanence of all things, including relationships, possessions, and even life itself. The Stoics understood that clinging to things that are destined to change only leads to suffering. Instead, they advocated for appreciating the present moment and for letting go of things gracefully when their time has come. The vast ecosystem of existence dictates everything has its season. Trees shed leaves, only to sprout new ones. Similarly, life presents endings and beginnings, each teaching us. Rather than clinging to what was, Stoicism invites us to appreciate life's impermanence. It's a call to live fully, love deeply, and let go gracefully. This perspective doesn't diminish grief, it reframes it. Loss is painful, but it's also a natural part of life. By accepting this, we can begin to heal and move forward. Every sunset makes way for a sunrise. The practice of recognizing life's natural cycles requires a shift in perspective, from viewing loss as a tragedy to viewing it as a transition. It requires recognizing that everything in life is impermanent and that clinging to things only leads to suffering. It also requires a willingness to let go of the past and to embrace the future. Recognizing life's natural cycles is not about being indifferent to loss, it's about accepting it as a natural part of life and finding ways to cope with it in a healthy way. It's about learning to appreciate the present moment and to cherish the relationships and experiences that we have. Life is a series of beginnings and endings. Understanding this helps us live more fully. Cultivating acceptance of loss requires a conscious effort to challenge our ingrained desire for permanence. It requires recognizing that everything in life is subject to change and that our ability to adapt is what determines our happiness and well-being. It also requires surrounding ourselves with supportive and positive influences that encourage our growth and resilience. Recognize the cycles, again and again, emphasizing the cyclical nature of life and the importance of embracing both beginnings and endings with grace and acceptance. By understanding the ebb and flow of existence, we can navigate periods of loss and transition with greater resilience and find solace in the knowledge that new beginnings are always on the horizon. To truly live, is to understand that it doesn't last forever. The sixth principle encourages us to seek growth in adversity, emphasizing that challenges are not obstacles but opportunities for self-improvement. Seneca proclaimed, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This viewpoint suggests that facing hardships allows us to develop resilience, fortitude, and wisdom. The Stoics did not advocate for seeking out suffering, but they believed that adversity was an inevitable part of life and that our response to it determined our character. Instead of complaining, they encourage us to ask, "What is this teaching me?" Consider challenges as life's personal gym sessions for the soul. Instead of asking, "Why me?" when hurdles appear, ponder, "What's this teaching me?" Challenges build character and foster resilience. When confronted with difficult situations, the Stoics would seek to identify the lessons they could learn and the ways in which they could grow as individuals. This principle requires a shift in perspective, from viewing adversity as a punishment to viewing it as an opportunity. It requires recognizing that challenges are inevitable and that our response to them is what determines our character. Bring it on. Seeking growth in adversity is not about being masochistic, it's about embracing the challenges that life presents and using them to become a stronger and more resilient person. It's about learning from our mistakes and using our experiences to grow and develop. Cultivating a growth mindset requires a conscious effort to challenge our ingrained desire for comfort and ease. It requires recognizing that challenges are necessary for growth and that our ability to overcome them is what determines our success and happiness. It also requires surrounding ourselves with supportive and positive influences that encourage our growth and development. Seek growth in adversity, again and again, emphasizing the transformative power of challenges and the opportunity to cultivate resilience and wisdom in the face of hardship. By embracing adversity as a catalyst for growth, we transcend the limitations of our comfort zones and emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. Personal gym sessions, daily. The seventh principle delves into the concept of cultivating inner riches, a stark contrast to the modern obsession with material wealth. Seneca aptly noted, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." True wealth, according to the Stoics, lies not in the abundance of possessions but in the richness of character, the depth of experiences, and the contentment of the soul. This principle encourages us to focus on developing inner qualities such as wisdom, virtue, courage, and compassion, rather than chasing after fleeting material pleasures. Instead of being enslaved by luxuries, find richness of experiences and treasure of memories. The Stoics remind us that while it's okay to enjoy life's luxuries, one shouldn't be enslaved by them, for in the end it's the stories we've woven, not the possessions we've accumulated, that truly matter. This doesn't mean material wealth is inherently bad, but it shouldn't be the primary focus of our lives. The pursuit of inner riches requires a shift in perspective, from viewing wealth as a measure of possessions to viewing it as a measure of character. It requires recognizing that true happiness comes from within and that material possessions are fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying. It also requires a willingness to let go of our attachments to material things and to focus on developing our inner qualities. Cultivating inner riches is not about being ascetic, it's about prioritizing our values and living in accordance with our own conscience. It's about recognizing that true happiness comes from within and that material possessions are secondary. Live a meaningful life. Developing inner qualities requires a conscious effort to challenge our ingrained desire for material possessions. It requires recognizing that true happiness comes from within and that material possessions are fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying. It also requires surrounding ourselves with supportive and positive influences that encourage our growth and development. Cultivate inner riches, again and again, emphasizing the enduring value of character, wisdom, and virtue over the fleeting allure of material possessions. By focusing on cultivating our inner landscape, we create a source of lasting contentment that is impervious to the external circumstances of life. Cultivating inner peace is the ultimate goal. The eighth principle addresses the importance of understanding and accepting fate, a concept that can be easily misinterpreted. Epictetus clarified, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen." This isn't about passive resignation but rather a recognition that while we have control over our actions and intentions, the ultimate outcome is often beyond our control. The Stoics encourage us to focus on what we can influence, our choices, our efforts, and our attitudes, and to accept with equanimity whatever results may come. Stoicism nudges us to embrace what's on our plate. The most captivating stories often emerge from the most unexpected turns. This principle is not about giving up or relinquishing responsibility. It's about aligning our will with the natural order of the universe and accepting that some things are simply beyond our control. To embrace what is, rather than fighting against it. The practice of understanding and accepting fate requires a shift in perspective, from viewing fate as a force that is working against us to viewing it as a neutral force that is simply part of the natural order of the universe. It requires recognizing that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. It also requires a willingness to let go of our expectations and to accept whatever results may come. Accepting fate is not about being fatalistic, it's about being realistic and focusing on what we can control. It's about recognizing that true happiness comes from accepting the things that we cannot change and focusing on the things that we can. Accept what is, move on, and make the most of every day. Cultivating acceptance of fate requires a conscious effort to challenge our ingrained desire for control. It requires recognizing that we cannot control everything that happens to us and that our attempts to do so often lead to frustration and disappointment. It also requires surrounding ourselves with supportive and positive influences that encourage our growth and resilience. Understand and accept fate, again and again, emphasizing the importance of aligning our will with the natural order of the universe and accepting with equanimity whatever results may come. By relinquishing the need for control, we find freedom from frustration and cultivate a sense of inner peace amidst the uncertainties of life. Life's myriad complexities blend our efforts and the universe's designs. Sometimes, despite our best moves, the outcome isn't in our favor. The ninth principle emphasizes the importance of being of service to others, highlighting the interconnectedness of humanity and the ethical imperative to contribute to the well-being of society. Seneca reminded us, we are all bound together in a partnership. Stoicism is not solely about personal enlightenment, it extends to community upliftment. By aiding another, we enrich not only their lives but also add meaning to our own. Whether it's helping a neighbor, volunteering time, or simply being a supportive friend, every act of kindness creates positive ripples in the universe. It's not just about thriving solo but elevating others along the journey. We live in a world bursting with opportunities to make a difference. Stoicism isn't just about personal enlightenment, it's about community upliftment. By aiding another, we not only enrich their lives but add meaning to our own. This principle transcends mere altruism. It reflects a deep understanding that our own well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of others. By contributing to the common good, we create a more just, compassionate, and thriving society for all. Small acts of kindness can have a great impact. The practice of being of service to others requires a shift in perspective, from viewing ourselves as isolated individuals to viewing ourselves as integral parts of a larger community. It requires recognizing that our actions have consequences and that our choices can impact the lives of others. It also requires a willingness to give of our time, energy, and resources to help those in need. Being of service to others is not about self-sacrifice, it's about recognizing that our own happiness and fulfillment are enhanced when we contribute to the well-being of others. It's about living a life of purpose and meaning and leaving the world a better place than we found it. Lift up others. Cultivating a spirit of service requires a conscious effort to challenge our ingrained tendency toward self-centeredness. It requires recognizing that our own needs and desires are not the only things that matter and that the needs of others are equally important. It also requires surrounding ourselves with supportive and positive influences that encourage our growth and compassion. Be of service to others, again and again, emphasizing the interconnectedness of humanity in the ethical imperative to contribute to the well-being of society. By extending our compassion and generosity to others, we not only enrich their lives but also cultivate a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in our own. Lift others along your journey. The 10th and final principle centers on the practice of reflecting, reviewing, and realigning, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness and continuous self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius noted, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The Stoics understood that true wisdom and fulfillment require a lifelong commitment to self-reflection and self-assessment. Regular introspection helps us identify our patterns, realign our paths, and refresh our perspectives. Consider it a regular system update for your life. Ponder upon your actions, learn from missteps, and celebrate small wins, for in understanding oneself, we pave the path to true contentment and peace. The modern world often leaves us little time for pause, so one must make time for introspection. This ongoing process of self-reflection allows us to identify our strengths and weaknesses, to examine our values and beliefs, and to make adjustments to our lives as needed. It's about taking the time to regularly assess our progress, to learn from our mistakes, and to celebrate our successes. It's a journey of self-discovery and growth that leads to greater wisdom, self-awareness, and fulfillment. Understand yourself to pave the way to true content and peace. Cultivating a habit of reflection requires a conscious effort to set aside time for introspection and contemplation. It requires creating a space where we can be honest with ourselves and examine our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without judgment. It also requires a willingness to learn from our experiences and to make changes to our lives as needed. Reflect, review, and realign, again and again, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness, introspection, and continuous self-improvement. By regularly examining our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, we can identify areas for growth and make conscious choices to align our lives with our values and aspirations. A mirror to our souls, regular reflection, a system update for your life. These 10 Stoic principles, far from being relics of the past, offer a timeless and remarkably relevant framework for navigating the challenges and complexities of modern life. They are not about suppressing emotions or retreating from the world, but rather about cultivating inner resilience, fostering self-awareness, and embracing a life of purpose and virtue. As we conclude this journey through the hallowed halls of Stoicism, it becomes evident that these age-old principles resonate deeply within our frenetic modern existence. Some truths are truly timeless. Share your resonated Stoic gems below. Let's get this conversation started so we learn from each other. If you found value today, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up and ring that notification bell so we can continue this dance of wisdom sharing and growth. Life is a journey sprinkled with challenges and surprises, but with the right mindset and a dash of Stoic spice, it can be quite the delightful adventure. Here's to mastering the art of letting go and living with intention and gusto. Until our next digital rendezvous, keep the fire of curiosity burning and the spirit of Stoicism alive. In essence, these 10 principles provide a roadmap for living a more fulfilling, meaningful, and resilient life, regardless of the external circumstances we may face. They remind us that true happiness comes from within and that by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our character, we can cultivate a sense of peace, purpose, and contentment that transcends the fleeting pleasures and anxieties of the modern world. They're about fostering resilience, embracing the present, and leading a life of purpose and depth. Cheers to you.